The way I got Double Dare was by mistake. A friend of mine, Dave Garrison, who was a ventriloquist, got the first call. He had become frustrated with the entertainment industry and couldn't get to the next step. And so he decided to step back, become a producer, and get off camera. And so he called me up and said, hey, you should go audition for this show. It's a network I've never heard of, Nickelodeon. It's a game show. I know nothing about it. You should go instead of me. So I went to the audition and they said, Dave Garrison. I said, Dave couldn't make it, but my name is Mark. Can I audition? And they said, sure. They had auditioned 1,000 people in New York, didn't like anybody, came to Los Angeles. And I was the first guy to audition. They auditioned another 1,000 people in LA. So now 2,000 people were auditioned. One thing I always did when I went to audition was I got the name of the exec producer and the casting agent so I could call them at some point. And we were about 2 weeks out from when I knew they were going to start shooting. And I called Mike Klinghofer, the exec producer, and I said, hey, Mike, what's going on? Have you cast the show yet? And he said, it's funny, we were just talking about you. We've got it narrowed down to you and one other guy, but we don't know who to choose. And I said, well, what's the situation? They said, well, when we did the auditions, we had grownups playing the part of kids. So we don't know if you're good working with kids. And I said, well, I have kids. And they said, yeah, that doesn't mean anything. And I said, well, I used to do magic shows for kids. And they said, that doesn't mean anything. So I came up with the idea, why don't you put me and whoever this other guy is into a studio with live kids, play the game as it is, and let the best man win. So they flew both of us to New York. I did my audition first. The other guy did his. At the end of 2 days, on a Wednesday, I got a phone call and they said, congratulations, you're the host of Double Dare. And I said, after auditioning 1,000 people in New York and 1,000 in LA, please tell me why I got this job. And they said, quite honestly, you were both about the same, talent-wise. But at the end of his audition, he looked in the camera and said, hey, do you guys want me to do something else? And I looked in the camera and I said, we'll be back with more Double Dare right after this. And because I threw it to commercial, they thought that was more professional. And that's why I got the job.